All right. It's Friday. I ain't got shit to do. And now it is time for my boy Zander Krause, who does Bird 365.
What's up, Big Sue?
What's up, my friend?
How you doing, brother?
I know you stay away from those White Castle burgers, dog. I mean,
I am not a White Castle guy.
little too greasy for you, probably, right?
Nah, grease doesn't bother me. I'm just not particularly a White Castle type of guy. Barrett Brooks was, I remember that. But
Oh, dude, he had a shirt.
luckily,
This
I'm
guy
not
had
paid to
gear
not eat,
for
though.
it, right?
What's up, everybody in the chat?
He had gear for it here. All right. Before we get started here on some questions here, I'm going to rank the Georgia Eagle guys. There's 4 of them so far on this football team. Just an overview assessment, what you've seen.
Yep.
Number 1, Jalen Carter. What do you think?
He's number 1. There's no doubt. No doubt about it. Number 1. What 4 are you doing? Nakobe, Jalen, Jordan, and Keely Ringo?
Yes. Jalen Carter, Keely Ringo, Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith. Okay.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis.
2. Definitely 2 for me. Right?
Okay. Now who's 3 or 4?
Keely Ringo, I have 3. Nakobe Dean's done a whole lot of nothing. Keely Ringo hasn't done much either, but he's also a 4th-round pick. He's projected to potentially have a role. He's also very young, bro. He just turned 21, and he got drafted last year. Like, he's a young player, and he has a lot of great physical attributes that could pan out to be a corner. So I guess you could say I'm putting him at 3 on projection, but Nakobe Dean
You know what? It's almost now become like too much to go into anymore because you just don't want to sit here and bang on a guy. It's just
right.
What would he 3 years in now? Is this now 3 years into this thing or 4?
This will be his 3rd year, so you can kind of say this is a contract year for him.
So if I'm giving a grade, Jalen Carter, I think he's got.
We missed some super chats. Let's get to them real quick. Thanks, JM.
I give Jalen.
It seems like you can't read or hear. He said his weight was a problem. He has been working on it the whole offseason. Read. So Prince.
Yeah, well, that's your interpretation, Jack Wagon. Okay, so Prince, that's how you fucking heard it. Big Sills hears it a different way, Junior. Let's get the other guy. These kids don't have love or dedication for the game. Your generation was different. Players became great because of hard coaching. Yeah, and a willingness to want to put the extra mile in. You know what that guy does?
Too. That's why I like Vic Fangio. I like the old school coaching. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dean's an F. Nolan Smith's been a D. These Georgia Eagle guys better pan up this. I mean, it's time for these guys to step into the room here.
I think Jalen Carter showed that he's going to be a good player.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm not worried about him. Now, he is going to have a big increase in snaps. So he's going to have to be more game shape for sure and be able to do it for a longer period of time. And, you know, I keep having this talk about Jordan Davis on Birds 365. They like him. They're happy with him. They seem to be.
Of course they are, because he's 13th pick.
Yeah, but I think we are evaluating him a little bit differently. Now, John did say, look, he's going to line up in a 40 front. He will line up as a regular DT, which means he's going to need to rush the passer more.
He's not a 3 technique.
I know he's not.
I told Clint that. He's not a 3 technique.
The 50
you think Vita Vea is a 3 technique?
No, and they're very similar players, but they are going to line up 50 front, and we'll see. I think that's going to look great, by the way. Now, I don't know how much they're going to go to that, but.
So who's the 5 guys up front you got?
Jordan Davis at the nose, Jalen Carter, and Milton Williams. And then on the outside, you have Josh Sweat and Bryce Huff. That's pretty mean front.
I like the Josh Sweat out there on the.
I like Josh Sweat. I part of me gets upset because I think he is so.
Dude, I'm not sold on Bryce Huff.
No, I'm not either. I mean, he's got to play so many more snaps this year, but
look, I would have been a fan of Bryce Huff with Hassan.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Right.
I still don't know why they
And
didn't keep
they
Hassan
have
Reddick.
the
There must
money
have
to
been
do that.
something in the locker room with Hassan Reddick.
Something.
Because,
Agreed.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was Vic. Maybe Vic didn't like him because, remember Hassan at the end of the season was like, I want to rush the passer.
Yep.
Then Jeff McClain put out that piece of the Eagles were upset because all Hassan wanted to do was rush the passer. And I'm like, he's our edge rusher. What else should he want to do? So maybe Vic Fangio didn't want that. And that's why you bring in Jalix Hunt. Maybe.
Who?
Look at Barb chirping. Fucking Barb.
Who's Jalix Hunt? Oh, the guy from Colgate / Houston Christian Community College, Helen Keller University, Slippery Rock University. Oh, yeah, that guy. I remember now. A high ceiling, and he's playing against bookworms and people who are librarians in the Ivy League.
Yeah, really.
I mean, Hobie,
No, I think
come on,
Jalix Hunt's going to be all right, though. I'm with you. It was a little bit of a reach, but I do think he's going to be good.
You do you? Okay. Yeah, because you know how he's really great at picking edge rushers. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Junior, here we go. So, what's your takeaways from OTAs?
Isaiah Rodgers. I think
yes!
they got a problem at cornerback, and it's a better problem than they had last year. Who are they going to cut, Dan? That room is deep, man.
Hey, let me tell you. You know what I kept doing to you? Hey, fuck this Isaiah Rodgers. So I talked to a couple dudes, and you know what he said?
Yeah, he could play.
Hey, Dan, I don't know what that guy did on his time off, but he came back. His pedal steps are great.
Yeah.
His turns are great. He's great in the hips. Hey, somebody, holy cow, James.
Holy moly.
We got to bust that goddamn thing up here. Look at it. Look at old James here.
Please tell me it's $50 to chirp you. That would be fantastic.
Please tell people how Davis's 45-degree angle and lineup allows him to get hips and gap immediately, unlike just get a hat on somebody. BC hips allow him to immediately break double teams with hips, like pick and roll, run into whatever way to maintain the wall. Okay, he's talking about tilting him and putting him in a position to where strength of schedule or strength of the formation is. So am I right, James? James, write it down at the bottom down here. You want to tilt him either on the 3 or on the nose. Is that what you want to do? Or you want to tilt him on the nose? Because that's the way Mean Joe Green played too. And a little bit of Aaron Donald, they tilt him. So if you tilt him, that means you have to have exceptional linebacker play behind him to be able to keep those scrape lanes and not to get off on the plane. So, James, is that what you're saying? You want to tilt him on the nose? I could see Vic tilt. They do Vita Vea like that too. They tilt him on that nose like that. So I think Vic's going to put him in a position. Zander, to me, with him on the nose, I'm giving him a second reprieve of life.
I think he's going to be good at the nose, dude. He's perfect mold for it, and he's a little bit more athletic than some of your average noses, where he does have that speed, that closeout speed. Everybody remembers the Josh Allen play. I think he's going to be great at that position, but he does need to take a step forward as a pass rusher, especially if they're going to use him in a 40 front
or a 5 front. Hey, put James's other one up here, right here, because this is his follow up here. Basically, he allows a tilt on shade and then slides the backside double to slide. They run that tilt off shade last year every snap. Hey, James, you must have played. Because that's exactly correct. You must have played because that's how the tilt works. Now, your ends have to set the edge exceptionally well. That's why, for me, Bryce Huff over there in that corner, and he's not really good against the run, not being able to set the edge, that is going to be the key to that if you want to tilt him. I'm good, James, with tilting him. That would put him in a position. What he means like this, Xander, say there's strong side over here. He wants to tilt him from a weak side, and most teams are going to run to the strong side set. Well, that puts him in a momentum to be able to push that line down the scrimmage, and what he's doing is he's keeping the line of scrimmage intact and not gaining yards. If he sits here like this in a normal 3, like you said John's going to do, that means he's going to get a hat on him. Well, he got knocked off the ball quite a bit last year towards the end of the year, And what happens? Look at this. When you get knocked off the ball and you're 2 yards deep, what happens? Well, that linebacker's got to slide back. And when you slide back more, before the running back even gets into the A gap or in the off the 3-hole, you're 4 yards back. You're giving 4 yards of carry up before the guy even hits him. How the hell did Sapp stay in shape? Sapp was like Jerome. But here, it's a great question. Hey, Wrench, you know how those guys stayed in shape? He took plays off. That's how Jerome, hey, don't think Jerome played every down in Philly 100%. Jerome would take 4 or 5 plays off, and they were pacing themselves. Okay? Sometimes that's why Buddy used to get annihilatedly. He used to get so pissed off because you'd see Jerome just laying on a guy. Then the next 2 plays, he would tackle for loss, sack, fumble, strip. And you're like, can you play like that every down? He couldn't. And I don't think he can play that way. And I agree. Sapp was no Jerome Brown. He was close to Jerome, but Jordan Davis is not either of those guys. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind him in a tilt. I think that's a great call there. So, hey, back to your boy Isaiah Rodgers. Hey, dude, He's been the star of OTAs.
Yeah, John McMullen gave him his OTA MVP. Not that that means much, but it is good. And I think it's interesting because Slay's getting old, man. And if they want to play Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean this year, Cooper DeJean hasn't played 1 snap in practice at safety. Like, that's going to be a tough thing to pan out. If you have Slay on one side, by the way, Ringo is apparently coming up. He's good. He's the guy who filled in for Slay yesterday when Slay was out. And now you have Quinyon Mitchell, you have Cooper DeJean, you have Keely Ringo, you have Isaiah Rodgers, Slay. Bradbury's going to be gone. I don't know, man. That's
what I would do if I was Keely Ringo? I'd be looking at what those 2 dudes did in the front office by drafting those 2 guys. I'd be sitting there going, fuck you. They're not taking my gig. That's my job. Yeah. And you know what? It creates competitive juices, dude. And that's how you create depth.
Yeah, that's how you create good players.
That's correct, man. You got to – if you're Keely Ringo, you have to realize that they don't think much of you.
They actually do think a lot highly of him.
How do you think much of him when they drafted 2 corners?
Well, that's true. I guess they don't think that much of him.
I mean, they could tell you all that shit.
Or Isaiah Rodgers, they didn't think much of because they did draft 2 quarters or corners.
Well, wait a minute. I just spent like the 40th pick and the 22nd pick, and you think I love you?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if he pans out, we're fine. Life after Slay, I can see Keely or Isaiah, I guess. To me, it looks like those are the 2 that are going to be fighting because Quinyon was drafted in the 1st round. He's probably going to get the benefit of the doubt from Jump Street. Maybe not, but probably. Slay on the other side. And then at nickel corner, I guess you could do Isaiah Rodgers.
Is Avonte Maddox make the team?
Yeah, he's going to make the team. And I think they're going to move him to safety.
Okay. Who plays in the slot? CJ?
No, CJ will be safety. It'll be CJ and Avonte. That's who now CJ was out.
That's yesterday. My dream. My dream is CJ and who did we say just now?
Yeah, I think Rodgers might play the slot.
And then get this. And then my corners are Mitchell and Slay.
And then Isaiah in the slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. Now you're not going to get Cooper on the field, but I guess that's fine, right?
Well, he's going to get snaps, though.
Yeah, he'll get snaps, but if he's not in the starting lineup, he's not going to get that many snaps.
Question for you: is Bradbury on the team tomorrow afternoon?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, look, we just talked about it. We didn't even include Bradbury in this conversation. I think he's gone, but I just wonder if Howie's going to try and hold him and wait for somebody to have an injury in camp.
Supposedly the Cardinals have an
interest. Right, JG. Yeah, he was good under JG, actually.
You think they keep
era? Are we looking at the JG era wrong in Philly?
I don't know, man. Please don't do that to me.
I'm
I
just
need
wondering. I
Bradbury
mean,
gone
hey, I
with
know we
Josh.
lost the Super Bowl, but 70 sacks. I mean,
They knew how to use Reddick.
they knew how to use Reddick. They weren't bad in pass. They weren't bad in run. I mean, they were a solid defense that year. Oh, we got 2 supers.
Hurts is the best quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, Alex, I'm with you. And Bradbury's got to be gone. I'm wondering if they're even wondering what to do with Slay at this point.
Look at this guy here down here. This
Hurts
is
is
Zander.
the best quarterback in the history of the NFL.
and-
We might have to pump the brakes on that one, buddy.
Best quarterback of all time. I've never seen anything like it. All right, so let me ask you this on your boy Barkley here. Is he the linchpin that carries the Eagles across the finish line to a Super Bowl?
I would say no. I would say Jalen Hurts is that guy. We're gonna go as far as Jalen Hurts is gonna take us this year, and I don't think Saquon Barkley is the make or break player for the team. I don't think they're gonna use him. Are you insinuating like if McCaffrey got hurt off Niners, they'd be done?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the same with Saquon at all here. I think it's going to more revolve on AJ and Jalen, but Jalen's got to be the guy, and he has to be great. If he's great, Saquon will get his numbers. He'll run the ball. Probably be a little bit of a bell cow back, maybe a closeout back. Remember, we had trouble closing out games last year.
True.
You know, we get a lead, and you get a lead. Now you have a 3-down back, and you can hand the ball off to Saquon, let him kind of run down the clock, and hopefully, get first down after first down. I don't think he's the linchpin, though. Do you?
No. Here's the last 4 years of Barkley here. He's averaged 16 carries a game, 64 yards a game, 180 carries a year, 725 yards a year. And he gets about 4 touchdowns a year. He averages about 36 catches a year for 235. He gets about 3 catches a game for 21 yards. And there's by far lesser talent in New York than in Philly.
Definitely.
I'm not disputing that. But
yeah, and that does matter.
You think that so you think that they're going to up the volume for a guy?
I don't know if they're going to up the volume, but I think they'll have better numbers per carry.
So you think he improves
from running behind Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson? I mean, if you could pick 2 offensive linemen to run behind, those 2 are probably in your top 10.
So you're expecting him to get 1,500 yards then?
I'm expecting 12 to 1,500. Yeah, I guess 13 to 1,500,
which he's done once.
Is that what it's looking like?
Well, no. He's got. I think he's got 1,300 yards twice. First year, and I think 2 years ago.
What does this shit show me his career stats?
I think he did 13 2 years ago, and his first.
Yeah, but I think it's our original conversation. Like one of the first times I was on, I don't know if it even matters the stat. If he makes the impact on the game that we need him to make by taking some of the pressure off Jalen Hurts in the run game, especially early on first downs, get ahead of the sticks. How many times last year were we 2nd and long, 3rd and long? Those are killers.
To 22, a lot.
Exactly. So if we can get 1st and 6, every time, that's a big impact. Now, I mean, I'd love him to get 1,500 yards, but I don't think the offense lives or dies by him getting 1,500 yards. And I don't think they're going to pass to him much. I think they're going to some, but.
So his upgrade or his addition, you don't think gets him across the finish line? It has to be.
I think his addition improves the team, and I think the team is good enough to get across the finish line. That doesn't mean they're going to, but I think they're good enough. Do you think the Eagles have a good enough roster to win a Super Bowl right now? That doesn't include injuries. That doesn't include the ball not bouncing their way. You're
talking 22, starting 22.
No, I'm talking going into 24. No. You don't think so?
Nope.
So if the Eagles play their best ball, you don't think that's Super
I don't think they're
Bowl?
Good enough on defense, no, to stop people. No.
I don't.
You have amnesia from the last 3 months of the season going into this one. You're just excusing that.
No, I don't have amnesia on it. I think. I don't know. how much better is the defense this year or worse this year than it was in 22?
Well, I think you lose Fletcher and Hassan a ton.
Wow.
That's 20 sacks. And you're telling me Nolan Smith and Huff and Devin
I think
White
you could.
are
I
going
think
to
you
take
could
that
argue.
number up?
Yeah, that's true. And the other big glaring one is the linebacker play.
But,
TJ Edwards was very good in Philly, and so was Kaiser White.
but would you not
Very
agree
underrated.
that TJ Edwards could easily be the most underrated Eagle player in the last 10 years that's played in that building?
Who?
TJ Edwards.
Oh yeah, and I honestly think Howie regrets letting him walk. I don't know for sure, but I think Howie regrets letting him go. How do you let that guy go? He got paid $7 million a year, I think.
It was 7.5 by Chicago.
Yeah, like that's a guy that could have completely. You wouldn't have had to worry about the linebacker position at all for 3 years. He's only 27 still, right? By the way,
He's got 3 more years. And you see the year he had last year? Look at the numbers he had last. It's not like, get this. It's not like there was get this. TJ Edwards went to a shittier team and still put up the same numbers he put up in Philly.
Yeah, he signed. You know what he played for in Philly in 22?
1.5 million.
2.2. Yeah.
Okay, 2.2 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see how many tackles he had last year?
Now, what do you have?
I think it was like 165 tackles. I think he was third.
Yes.
I think
he had 153 tackles. He had 159 for us in 22. Wow, another great season for him.
So wait a minute. So wait, the last 3 years he's had over 300 tackles.
Yep, 312 tackles and 5 sacks.
You think the entire linebacking core last year the Eagles had 300 tackles?
Now, here's the biggest thing. You ready? Here's the biggest stat on TJ Edwards. Last year, he played 97% of snaps. In 22, he played 94% of snaps.
He's reliable, and he's durable.
Reliable, durable, great instinct, great linebacker. I think he's the one that got away. Howie's upset about it. Nakobe Dean we got way too excited for the guy. I don't know why. And remember, because during that draft, he was kind of like a first-round pick. The NFL only invites how many players to the event? Like 20 or 30 players they invite to be at the draft. Nakobe was invited. Like, he was a first round, but a lot of people had him going first round. Then he kept falling and falling and falling. Turns out those teams might have been right.
Who do you think has been in the last 2 years a bigger loss? Isaac Seumalo, TJ Edwards, or Hassan Reddick?
Well, we can't quantify it. We don't know about Hassan yet. What if Bryce Huff puts up good numbers? What if Nolan Smith takes a step forward and you get the same production? Then all of a sudden the Reddick move doesn't look as bad. But I'm not going say a mile away. We'll get to him in a second.
For you too, we have to run to set up pass, or go like 22 and use run to close games instead of after lead. Shouldn't that decision dictate?
Yeah, it does, James.
Yeah,
it does. And my point is, I think they're going to do the latter of what you said, use the run to close out the game more than using the run to set up the pass. But the other circumstances, it might be both. I mean, if you're running him on first down and you get 4 yards and now you have a 2nd and 6 every time, that sets up the pass. That forces the defense to have to play you differently versus if you're in 2nd and long, it's a passing down no matter what. But I do think they're going to use him to close the game too. That's probably where they're going to that's where he's going to get a lot of
time. Clock. Run the clock down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Run the clock down. So you don't think Reddick? You think that is yet to be determined? Reddick's not going to be missed.
No, I didn't say that. I said we don't know yet because let's see what these guys do. I don't think they're going to be the same as Reddick, but I know what we lost with TJ Edwards. We went from TJ Edwards to I don't even know who last year after Nakobe Dean, Zach Cunningham, and Shaq Leonard, and the island of misfit toys that sucked. Nick Morrow. Like, that was a loss. We had an instinctual linebacker in 22 that could plug the gaps.
Did you think that DeAndre Swift was an upgrade from Miles Sanders the year before?
I did for the running aspect, or for the catching aspect, but they didn't use him like that. It's basically the same back as Sanders last year.
He had 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns his final year in Philly.
Sanders did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a bad Super Bowl. Sorry.
Oh,
That's the taste that's
oh,
left in my
okay.
mouth.
I love here. See Xander, and he's right to put that Super Bowl. Hurts had 4 shitty ball games in the playoffs, so really a great Super Bowl. Okay, I mean,
Hurts
hey,
didn't play shitty in those playoffs.
dude, you think he was great in that Giants game?
No, but we also destroyed the 49ers. I mean, we still
You
put up
think
a lot
he
of
played
points.
well in that game?
He didn't have to. We destroyed them, and
Okay, do
he
you think
rode
he
the
played well
pine.
in any of the Bucks playoff games?
Well, no, but the first one was his first year starting versus Tom
Okay,
Brady.
I know.
And yeah, Tom Brady's
I
going to
know.
take a young gun to school. Tom Brady took Patty Mahomes to school, so
Yeah.
don't even. All right, got to give him some slack on that one.
0-3 in the road, but it's
And
okay.
last year was an unacceptable performance from Jalen Hurts.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Where would you rank the Eagle offensive talent in the NFL?
This is tough, man. This is a tough top 10.
So here's CBS's. The Chiefs are 1.
Which I don't agree with. I know they're going to be the one, but you know what I mean? From a talent perspective, they don't have the most talent in the league on offense. Now, I guess
How can
maybe
you dispute that when they've won 2 Super
no,
Bowls?
I'm
in a
not
row?
disputing that they're a great offense. I'm saying they don't have like Rashee Rice is not AJ Brown. Rashee Rice is not Deebo Samuel, but they have Mahomes. So I guess he could.
Mahomes overshadows all that.
I know he might. Okay, that's fine.
The 49ers are 2.
That's about where I'd have them.
Here, I don't know, but they got the Lions at 3.
Can't hate it. Lions got a good offense.
That's a great, hey, Xander, great take. You can't hate it because the golf is like 30 TDs, 4,500 yards. The receivers were insane. The back, hey, dude, you were right about the kid Gibbs. I didn't think he was that good at Bama.
Yeah,
He's
I love
better
Gibbs.
in Detroit.
I thought I was a little biased because he's an Alabama guy, but the way he ran at Alabama was tremendous, and that's really translated to the NFL.
Don't they have that back from Chicago up there too?
Yeah,
Montgomery?
David Montgomery. Yep.
And they got him back, and plus that Laporte kid, that tight end they got.
Yep, he's great too.
That's a good looking group.
I want to put. What did you put at your top 10?
I'm going to give you my top 10 here in a minute, and I'll look at your top 10. We'll do both of ours here, and we'll look at we're doing the CBS's. They have the Eagles 4 here. Number 5, they have the Bengals.
I don't know if I like that.
With Joe Namath Burrow. At 6,
I think the Ravens are a better offense than the Bengals.
At 6, they have the Rams and the Texans tied. I love that Texans offense.
A tie. What is this? It's a list, guy. Come on, give me a 6.
That's what I said. I go, how do you fucking fence
Wait, who was it? Rams and who?
Hey, how do you fence straddle a list? Rams and Texans.
Texans are a sleeper. Texans are going to be an upcomer for sure.
Number 8, the Packers.
Yep, they're another sleeper. I was going to put them in my sleepers on the outside of the top 5.
Number 9, the Dolphins.
I'm surprised the Dolphins aren't higher. Boy, that's a good offense.
They got you know what? Very underrated running back game. Number 10, they got the Bills. Bro, I don't even have the Bills. And I love Allen, and I don't have the Bills in my top 10. So
no, you don't have the Bills in your top 10?
Here, I'm going to do. So let's both do our
Wait. Before you give me it. You said Mahomes trumps it all.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Josh Allen trump a lot?
Because I have to see this.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Mahomes has shown you it over and over again.
He proves he doesn't need Xander, get this too. Here's the underlining thing that I said in the first hour of the program, what that guy does. His impact on that football team is not just on the field. His impact is on the cap. You don't need to pay $50 million in receivers on that team. You know why?
It's true. You're paying him $55 million, but you're paying him $55 million, but you're right. You don't have to pay. You can get away with Rashee Rice at a couple mil a year.
Or Juju Smith-Schuster, because you know why? You're paying Reed 20 and you're paying the quarterback 50 and you're paying the tight end 15. The rest of them are just dudes.
Yeah,
now Humphrey's good. Creed Humphrey's good in that old line. Okay. Here is my top 10, and my top 10. I got the Chiefs number 1 until otherwise beaten. Their coaching and their quarterback is so good. Think about this, Zander. They've beaten the 2 best rosters in consecutive Super Bowls to win Super Bowls. If the 49ers and the Eagles have such a great offense, you still can't stop them.
Yeah, I can't. It's the Chiefs. I don't agree with. I'm not going to put them at 1 in mine, but I completely understand what you're.
Who do you have 1?
49ers.
49ers.
Yeah, I think they're the most talented offense in the NFL.
I have them 2.
Okay.
And here's why. I think Purdy does a better job of getting the ball to all the weapons on the team than what Hurts does. He utilizes tight ends. He utilizes all the players around him and the key component. But here, and hear me out on this. Do I think he's the best guy in that huddle? Shit, he might be the 5th best guy, 6th best guy in that huddle, the 49er huddle.
Yeah.
You got Trent Williams. You got McCaffrey. You got Kittle. You got Debo. You got Ayuk. Then maybe it's him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but see, you could say the same thing about her. Okay, so I got Chiefs and 49ers. You got it. Who do you have 2?
I have the Eagles 2. Eagles 2 and Chiefs 3 for me.
I have the Bengals 3.
Oh, boy, I don't even have the Bengals in my top 5.
So you think T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, and
offensive line,
Jamar Chase.
Offensive line sucks.
Still got to the Super Bowl with that same line.
I know they still got to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean they're a top 5 talented offense.
They beat the fuck out of the Niners last year.
I just don't have them. I don't see it. I don't see it with Cincinnati.
You know that team that destroyed the Eagles and the Link? The Bengals destroyed them.
Was that early in the year last year when Joe was?
No, that was in the mid part of the season before he got hurt, bro.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, you're a Joey B guy. Okay. I like Joey B too, but I'm not giving him fourth best offense in the league. Come on.
I got the Birds 4. Who do you have 4?
4, I have Lions.
Not terrible. I got the Lions 5. Who do you have 5?
I have the Ravens 5.
Wow. Oh. So Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and a tight end they have. And O-line.
They got a good O-line.
And they got Todd Monken, who's a really good
coordinator. They have a great O-line. I think the Ravens are being slept on.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. People are saying that the Lions have the best O-line in football with those 2 bookend tackles.
With
Ragnow in the middle there, too, now that Kelsey's gone.
Yeah.
He's probably the best center in the league.
Definitely is. I would say is 100% the best center in the league, with Creed Humphrey probably a close second.
At 6, I got the Texans.
That's a good one. I like that.
Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon.
Let me do these last 3 for me, and I'll be able to.
Let me see. What's his name? Jeremy Tunsil at left tackle, Stroud at quarterback, and plus Bobby Slowick calling plays. And you got DeMeco Ryans. Boy, I'll tell you, that Texans team, they're by far the best team in Texas.
The Texans team is going to be nasty, dude. I'm telling you.
Dude, how about the gamble they made a year ago by trading up to get Will and Stroud?
I know. What a draft that was. Oh, my God.
I mean, both guys were offense and defensive, player of the year last year. I love Will Anderson. Dude, he's the best defensive player to come out of.
All right, I got my 10.
Hey, I'll say Will Anderson's the best player to come out of Alabama since Derek Thomas. Who's better? Guy who just won Defensive Rookie of the Year, too.
Yeah, he's gonna be tremendous.
I think he has a chance to be better than Cornelius Bennett.
Yeah, but how long ago was Derek Thomas?
Mid-90s?
Julio?
What?
Julio Jones? You're not going to put Julio Jones?
I'm talking defensively.
Oh, only defense. Okay, defensively. Yeah, then you're probably right.
Surtain, you've had?
Surtain is good.
That guy Jonathan Allen, I thought was going to do more. He hasn't.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like he's been so hindered by that team, man.
But what do you mean by the organization?
By the organization, yeah. They just suck out loud, and remember, he's been very vocal about it. He's so sick of it. Now they're paying him a huge money there, but you're right. You're probably right. Jonathan Allen could have been better, especially if he went. If he came to a spot like the Eagles, oh man,
or the Rams.
Or the Rams. I mean, anybody that develops defensive talent like that would have been great.
How about the Steelers? Right,
Steelers would have been great. Steelers are a good organization.
Just great.
Although I still will always knock the Steelers because they're all of a sudden like being 500 is like the greatest achievement you can have in
It's
football.
a great take. You're right. Well, not having a losing season in the last 18 years.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care at all.
I'd rather have a 4-win season one year.
That sounds like some Cowboys stuff to me. Like,
yeah, a little bit.
I haven't won a title in 30 years, but we always
won 36 games the last.
We always win 9 games at least. Okay, I don't want to win 9 games. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'd rather lose 4 games one year, go to the Super Bowl the next year. Okay, I'd rather have that than have 3 9-win seasons in a row and go, hey, we're getting there. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Number 7, I have the Rams. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Stafford, the play caller, and McVay. O-line's improving.
That's pretty good.
They really, I tell you what, they got better also by the end of the year.
Okay, wait, I didn't give you my 6. 6, I have Bengals.
Okay.
7, I have Dolphins.
Okay.
I think they're being a little bit slept on, the Dolphins. They got a lot of players. Because of Tua. Yeah.
Well, I think it's because when they get in those big, tough games, they get put to sleep.
Yeah, but remember, this is a team that put up a 70 burger last year.
On the Broncos.
I don't care who it's on. It's on an NFL team. 70 points is unheard of in the NFL.
Okay.
Dude, that's like the MAC conference scoring. 70 points?
No.
That's like you turn on the TV at midnight on a Friday night and Hawaii's playing Southern Cal or some school.
No, it's like Ohio State playing Toledo.
I got the Dolphins. I got the Dolphins at 7, and I like that. I like that there. I think that you could argue they're closer to top 5, but I get why they fell.
I have the Packers at 8. Who do you have?
I have the Rams at 8.
You have what?
The Rams.
Rams. Okay. I got the Dolphins at 9 for what I just said. The reason I have them down there is because I want to see them in physically imposing games where they have to just run the ball down somebody's throat. That makes sense? I mean, every game they got in last year that was a physically imposing type, a reputation team. Like, get this. I thought the Eagles were going to have a tough time with that team. And that game was one of their easier games of the year with all that talent that they had. I was big time let down by them in that Eagle game. And it took some of because I thought they could be maybe a contender in the AFC. I thought they had something, but then I saw the Eagles just walk through them and they didn't even play an A game in that game and they beat them up.
It's true. You're right about that. I'm on 9, right?
Yeah. Who do you have?
I have the Texans at 9.
Pretty low.
Yeah. I don't see them. You could argue maybe they'd be better than the Rams, but
you want to see them again? You just want to see it again.
Yeah, right. I think I probably think they're a more talented offense than the Rams. But yeah, I want to see it again. I mean, 1 year is great, but you have a lot of young guys. Let's see how they do in year 2 together. And then 10, I have the Packers, who I kind of feel the same way about with the Texans. They got a lot of young guns. Jordan Love was great, but 1 year doesn't mean you're going to be a great NFL quarterback. So let's see. But they certainly looked apart. So those are my 10.
I got the Ravens 10. Because I don't think they're a prolific passing team.
No, they're not.
And I think what happens to them is if you make them one-dimensional, they panic.
Well, you know why I think that changes this year?
Derrick Henry.
Yep. I think he is the absolute perfect fit with Lamar Jackson. And I would have said the exact same thing about if we signed Derrick Henry in Philadelphia. If Derrick Henry was in Philadelphia, the Eagles would be 1 on my list right here. Because I think he would make that much of a difference for the style of game we want to play. We don't want to throw the ball out of the backfield. A traditional running back like that, especially a guy like Derrick Henry's size and speed and athleticism and his stature. He's going to move the sticks consistently for the Eagles, make life tremendously easy for Jalen Hurts. Obviously, we didn't go that route. We went a little bit more of a versatile running back, not my style, but that's what they did. And now I think Lamar is going to benefit tremendously from Derrick Henry. I really do. I think he's going to have his best year yet as a quarterback. Two-time MVP winner is going to have his best year yet.
I think this is without a doubt one of the biggest misses that the Cowboys had this offseason was not. Yeah. And Derrick Henry wanted to play there.
He was like openly saying it, like they haven't called me.
Yeah,
and Barb says never his career. I don't know about that. I mean,
they never called, and he was like, I didn't get it. And so he goes, at the end of the day, though, you know, who would you rather play with, Lamar, or would you rather play with Dak Prescott? I'd rather play with Lamar. He gives me a better chance to win.
I mean, Barb says Henry's at the end of his career. He had 280 attempts last year for 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Well, if that's the case, so is Barkley then, because he was worse.
Barkley's further down.
Right.
I mean, the last 4 years, Derrick Henry's had.
You think Tennessee was a great team last year? No.
Yeah, the last 4 years, Derrick Henry's had over 5,500 yards of offense and double-digit touchdowns each of the last 6 seasons.
Come on, man. Barkley and Henry are not a conversation.
That 2020 season for Derrick Henry, 2,027 yards, 17 touchdowns, 378 carries.
But look at the other year where he played
insane.
Look at the other year where he only played 9 games. And look how many yards he had in 9 games.
Yep, 937. So if you equate
that, that's another $2,000. And you want to hear something crazy? He finished 9th in rushing that year.
And he had
missed
10
half
touchdowns.
the season.
9 games, he had 10 touchdowns.
He was on pace for another $2,000.
Wow, I didn't even realize that stipulation that he only played 9 games that year. I mean,
and finished 9th in rushing.
Only season in the last 6 seasons that he's not over 1,000, and he played 9. He played 9 games.
Right, and get this: he was 9th in rushing in the league that year.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Still 219 carries. We'll be lucky.
He's almost like Justin Jefferson. He's like the Justin Jefferson of running backs, where Jefferson had 9 games last year. He had 1,100 yards. Are you going to pay him $35 million?
Ooh, it looks like they're gonna, right? I mean, somebody's gonna. Might not be me, but somebody's gonna do it.
Couple more questions.
Wait. If you were him, though, would you?
I'm not staying there.
No, right?
No.
But then what do you have to risk? What do you have to risk, though? Now I have to play out my whole 5 years in Minnesota and wait to get the money.
Yeah, right. So what I'm going to do is play my option year out.
You think that's leaving a lot of money on the table?
Well, wait a minute. Whoa, wait.
Think about it, though. Listen, I get what you're saying, and I would rather do it too. But stipulate in how much money this is, how life-changing it is. If one thing goes wrong, if one catastrophic injury, the NFL changes, man, like quick.
You said something just now, though. So right now, the top salary is $32 million. What do you think the top salary is going to be after next year's offseason for a wide receiver of his talent, Justin Jefferson, if he has 1,500 yards? Say he has a normal Justin Jefferson year of 1,600 yards and 10 touchdowns. What do you think that market's going to be for him at his own place in Minnesota and also on the open market, knowing full well he played his option and played the option out and and you go like this? What do you may have to pay him 50. He might make quarterback money.
We really at $40 million wide receivers? We're getting close, aren't we? 32. We're right there.
Look how far. Hey, what was the initial sign for AJ Brown 2 years ago?
4 years, $100 million.
Okay, so it was $25 million.
It was 25, like basically flat. Yeah.
Okay, so in 2 years, he's basically at it. That salary's gone up $8 million annually.
Right. 2 years later, he signed $32 million a year.
Okay, well, so
in
if
another
I'm
2 years,
Jefferson, do I want to sign a contract that'll be outdated by the time I play next year?
Yeah, remember you ripped Devontae Smith for waiting. If he plays next year on a what would it be, an $18-20 million tag, he's leaving $20 million on the table, $22 million on the table.
$20 million on the table versus me making an additional $15 a year.
True. But isn't he going to make that anyway?
But why do I have to be in Minnesota to make it?
This is why teams want to play in Philly, or players want to play in Philly. A.J. Brown could have said the same thing when he signed. Wait a second, do I want to play out this contract here? And then I'll get 120, an extra $5 million a year. 2 years later, the Eagles are like, I'll give it to you anyway.
Can you imagine Howie Roseman going, I'm going to make a trade for Justin Jefferson. You bring that guy and you cover all your Jalen Reagor bullshit and all that stuff. Holy cow, man. That would be,
if he did that, we'd have a quarterback problem. You can't get we don't have that style of quarterback.
That's right. You don't. Okay. Bryce Huff or Nolan Smith? Who do you think has a better year?
Bryce Huff better have a better year. Nolan Smith.
This guy's the 31st player taken.
Yeah, but we're counting like we signed Bryce Huff because no one did. Yeah, we are counting on Bryce Huff. We need Bryce Huff. You could argue our defense hinges on Bryce Huff's production to some extent. If we have nobody on the outside who's getting to the quarterback,
who do you think is more instrumental in the defense this year? Bryce Huff, Nolan Smith, or Quinyon Mitchell?
Bryce Huff. If you said Bryce Huff or Jalen Carter, I'd say Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter I think everything hinges on him, and Jordan. I think Vic Fangio is going to assume.
So you're putting the same emphasis on him that you would put Aaron Donald on.
Well,
shit, man. Rams win with him.
On Jalen Carter, I think so. I think he can be that guy, though. I really do. And I don't know about Aaron Donald level, but Fletcher Cox level, definitely.
I think he's going to be better.
That's a big statement. Fletcher Cox was a good player, man.
I remember what I told you when I first.
That's a big statement.
Remember what I told you about Fletcher when I first got here? How much I appreciated how he played every down, was a stopgap guy and a pass rusher. Donald was never a stopgap guy and run defender.
You know what's kind of funny to me? The whole Kelsey retirement, it kind of like hit me already because like he did the whole tour, he does the podcast, he's still like in the mix a lot. Fans are always talking about Kelsey. His wife's getting like ripped by some crazy lady down the shore, all sorts of stuff. Like he's in the news.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was weird. Weirdo. Margate Karen, they're calling her. I agree. It hasn't hit me yet on Fletcher. Like, dude, ever since I can remember watching this team for the last 12 years. I mean, that goes back to when I was 13, 14 years old. Fletcher Cox has been the anchor of the defense. Been right there up front. 91. The Army crawl and
Dude,
I mean, the best thing ever. It hasn't hit me yet that Fletcher's gone. I'm going to miss Fletch. I love
You miss him more than you miss Kelsey?
I think the team won't, but I think I don't know. I've been a Fletcher Cox fan my whole life. Like even when I was a youngster, I had a Fletcher Cox jersey. I wore it in high school. We went to the concerts. I was like, give me my Cox jersey. I just love Fletcher Cox, and I'll always love Fletcher Cox.
This is for you from James.
Zander, this hurts as an Auburn Tiger, but here's top 10 Bammers. Cornelius Bennett, who we've had on the show. Humphrey, Marlon Humphrey, Trevon Diggs, Eddie Jackson, who's a nobody right now, by the way, though. I mean, he had a good start to his year, but he's on the scrap heap right now. Patrick Surtain, Dante Hightower, Minka Fitzpatrick, CJ Mosley, Will Anderson, Derek Thomas. And he gives me a War Eagle at the end. Yeah. Let's see the list of Auburn guys, James.
Let me think about Auburn guys. Auburn great defenders. Tracy Rocker.
Oh, come on. Come on, Twiz. Twiz, come on, Twiz.
Twiz is just a shit talker, by the way.
26, Parks. 26. Just turned 26.
Hold on for a second here. Auburn players on defense. Who was that linebacker? Hey.
Man, Auburn ain't produced nothing in the NFL. Don't even try.
The linebacker that played in the NFL for the Bengals. That was an Auburn guy. Who was that dude, man? He was good. I think he played with the Bills, too. Okay, I'm trying to think of some of them Auburn dudes, man. I don't know. I don't think there's very many. All right.
Cam Newton. That's the last one I remember.
Cam Newton is the last guy. They had a what's his name? Nico?
Oh, I mean, no, they do have
Spikes.
They do have
Spikes, James. That's it.
Yeah, Takeo Spikes. That's right.
Yeah, Spikes is an Auburn dude.
Yeah,
Takeo Spikes.
Takeo Spikes.
Takeo.
And they had Bo Jackson, so I'll give you Bo Jackson. But come on, man, that's like Cowboys. It reminds me of the Cowboys. I mean, 1987, I think he was drafted.
Okay, finally here. So what
Yo,
do you make of
that,
Hurts?
that was such a memeable comment by me, by the way.
Hey,
Unbelievable.
how what do you make of Hurts sucking at the OTAs?
I think it's not good, man. I'm not going to overreact to it, but Dan, this is passing camp.
Right. It's fucking helmets and shorts, and you can't get
And
the
it's
ball.
built for the pass, man. It's built for offenses.
It's built for success.
Yes.
You're not
It's
hitting
built.
anybody. And he's struggling getting the ball. Get this. You know what else I heard he's struggling on? He's struggling on the play callings, on what they want him to do in the huddle.
I'm not going to overreact to spring football, okay? But it's concerning. Now, apparently, Kenny Flickett sucked too. And even, wait a second. So they get this, because we did our OTA breakdown on Birds 365 today, because Johnny Mack was down there at NovaCare yesterday. Apparently now Tanner McKee looks the worst he's ever looked. John's like, I think Doug Nussmeier's like changing his mechanics or something.
No, it's the difficult offense that
No, that's not what John's talking about. He's talking about the way he looks throwing the football. And I'm like, wait a second. This is our quarterback coach, a guy that Tanner McKee is a third-string quarterback. But the best thing about Tanner McKee was that he was good mechanically and he could throw the ball.
Yeah.
Now John says that looks shoddy. And he had an interception yesterday, underthrowing people left and right. I'm like, so you're telling me
you got all three quarterbacks?
You're telling me the quarterback coach botched the only quarterback who's going to let him touch his mechanics? Oh, God.
War Eagle. James, now that I know you're a War Eagle.
James, you're done. You're not getting any more of that.
Holy cow. Jalen Hurts is blowing on 7-on-7. Oh, my God. Holy cow, man. You got to be kidding me.
Listen.
I mean, what does John say? He's there. What does John
say? He said it was ugly. He said, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It was bad. It was ugly. Now, he did preface it. Okay, it's spring football. We're not going to overreact, but this is 7-on-7. It's built for the pass. And Jalen Hurts heaved 2 interceptions, and he should have had a third interception that Ringo dropped. I knew. I'm listening to John this morning, and I'm like, this is music to Sills' ears.
This is the first I've actually heard how horrible. Wait a minute. Holy shit. So John goes, it was ugly.
Look, OTA takeaways. Jalen Hurts sucked. That's what I got on this thing. That's what John said.
That
was my takeaway from the show.
McMullen. Jalen doing too many squats. Flexing. Yikes. Hey, Flexing, any concerns that the people that are watching this thing, and like Zander said, dude, this is set up for success, and he can't find the wideouts.
Yeah, that's troublesome, no? And even when he is finding them, he's not putting the ball in the number.
You think it's more Kellen Moore or Jalen or both?
What's that?
You think it's more Zander? I mean, you think it's more Kellen Moore, or is it Jalen or both?
I think it's Jalen. I said that this morning. I'm like, well, is it Kellen Moore, like, who's getting him to do some stuff outside, his comfort zone? And he's like, dude, it's not. It's 7-on-7. It's a passing drill.
Okay.
Like, there's no offensive line. There's no defensive line. You drop back and you pass. And then the other thing, we had Chris Franklin on today, who's at NJ.com. He was on in the afternoon, in the second hour. And he's like, all 3 quarterbacks are holding on to the football. Like, the play doesn't end unless they're blowing the play dead because the quarterbacks aren't throwing it. I'm like, dude, drop back and throw.
So they're stopping the sequence of the play because
because there's no sacks or anything. But like, if the quarterback holds the ball for 8
seconds, if they don't get that ball out in 3 seconds, they're blowing the whistle.
I don't know about 3 seconds, but it's pretty quick. And apparently they've had a lot more blown dead than they should have.
Hold on, one second. hang on. This is going to carry me home. Hang on.
You'll be hearing about this till August 31st.
Oh, my God. Hey, so how many more OTAs they got? They got another one coming up this week, right?
No, so they're done today. Today was their last day, but it wasn't open to the media. So they had 6 total OTAs, 3 last week, 3 this week. 2 were open to the media, 1 last week, 1 this week. And then next week is the first mandatory thing they have.
4th through the 6th.
Yeah, mandatory minicamp. So they'll have that next season, and that's the first one with Nick ever.
You might want to make a call to Big Dick Nick. Bring that guy's ass in. You might want a veteran QB back there.
Big Nick's playing pickleball.
Dude, and walking around Philly going like this. I did it.
Dan, it's Football Friday. Can we end this on a good note here? Our quarterback sucks. I don't
Sure.
want to hear it anymore.
Sure, the defense looked very good. Zander, how many likes do we have? Yesterday was the super like day.
Tony in the chat, give me the number. It's way easier when they give me the number.
Yeah.
You got me like fishing for the like.
What's the like number? We got to get this to 200.
123. 123.
All right, guys, we're halfway through the show. Not horrible. We'd like to end it strong with 200 by the end of the program. Fly, thank you so much. Zander, dude, that show, no disrespect to Jody. You know, occasionally I needed an oxygen mask to get through it. Now, there's a lot of youth to it. And by the way, do me a favor. So your old man sends me a message last night. Hey, I want you punching up. And I'm going like, oh, man, you know what?
Well, let me guess. You were out on Twitter, chirping some crap on Twitter, doing some nobody tweets. Dan had a couple more. Wait, let me take you through Dan's night last night. He gets off the show. It's like 2:00. He goes out. He kicks his feet up at the pool. Wife makes him a margarita. He's sitting out there. A couple later, he's like, oh, yeah, time to get on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. No. Crossing broad is in my short hairs right now.
Yeah, they are.
No, they are in my short hair. Hey, by the way, there's a list of people that I have on my scoreboard. Hey, Joe, there's a few people, as you know, that are on my hit list.
Listen, Sills, fuck them all. I'm coming for all of them. I'm dead serious. Fuck them all.
You're too good, man. Don't forget to catch out Farzi, too. Also, he starts our broadcast off. I think our network sounds younger than it's ever sounded. Sometimes I sound like an old man. Get off my lawn, dude. I get it. But wait till this next segment coming up with Wishbone Hurts. I can't wait. This is going to be great. Zander, you were spectacular.
Wishbone.
Thank you, brother.
Wishbone.
John McMullen, thank you for your due diligence in covering a guy who's blowing on 7-on-7.
No.
Hit the like button. Keep it here. National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.